Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Oh, great to be with you. The NBA season opened up last night, and I'd like to speak for all America and say I didn't see a second of it.
25 solid minutes of it. That's 25 more than I've watched in a while. Turned it on the fourth quarter, watched till double overtime, it was almost like pro wrestling style. Wow. Thunder won in double overtime. Game 2, I think the Warriors beat the Lakers. I wasn't awake for that. But, game 1, it's almost pro wrestling style. Kevin Durant calls a timeout, and the first overtime, the ref didn't see it. And they
didn't have a timeout.
Exactly. Didn't have a timeout. Ref didn't see it, and went on to double overtime. Should have been a technical foul. Should have ended the game right there. But, the Thunder ultimately won. And I watched, for about 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter on for the first game. That was about all I watched. Didn't watch any in the second game.
Yeah, well, yeah. All right. Yeah, big night NBA hoops. NBC went all out last night.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, they certainly did. You had the
I have no idea how any of it played out.
No, well, I know they spent a lot of money because you had the pregame interview with Michael Jordan, which is alone. I don't know the official number. The rumored number is very high, obviously, to have his contributions to the coverage. So hopefully you get your return on investment with him. But other than that, I can tell you the Thunder won in double overtime. I saw the end of that game, and I can tell you the Warriors won. I didn't see a second of it.
All right. Here's one that is very interesting. 2 players, college basketball now. London Johnson, who at one point was a 4-star recruit, played 3 seasons in the G League. Okay, 3 seasons in the G League. Is now going to commit to play basketball at Louisville. Then another G League player, Terry Darlin, committed to Santa Clara. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Yeah, I know college players are allowed to get paid now, but these are guys that were playing in the pros, where they could have been called up to the NBA. They weren't. But what are we doing now? Diego Pavia is playing now because he was able to successfully get a ruling that junior college didn't count as college. Well, what the hell is it?
Yeah,
I mean, my only question would be, were you able to take your credits, transfer them to New Mexico? Did New Mexico accept your junior college credits? Even if they accepted 1. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Then he transferred to Vanderbilt after that. So then I think people forget about the New Mexico stop. Okay? If they accepted your credits, you're in college. Even if they accepted half your credits,
of it,
you're in college. Those credits are being used to get your degree. Yet they convinced somebody that, and look, believe me, I have nothing against Diego Pavia. I could, nothing at all. I'm just using him as an example because he did sue. And now this. What are we doing now? Okay. What, a guy goes through his rookie year in the NBA, he doesn't like it there, so he's allowed to go back? What are we doing? The NCAA's Division I manual states that any athlete who has been compensated as a professional beyond actual and necessary expenses, a category that includes health insurance, meals, lodging, and transportation, cannot play college basketball. But the NCAA has bent those rules recently for multiple international prospects who participated in professional leagues overseas. Because of that, now they're looking at this G League deal. Darlin, who's from the Central African Republic, did play for the NBA Academy Africa program. Great. That's great. And that doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
That
right.
doesn't count, right? And we all know it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
His admission is more in line with other international professionals who have recently secured Division I eligibility, while he was the first G League player in history to be granted eligibility to play college basketball. Johnson's commitment as a player without those international ties is even more groundbreaking, and according to Tom Izzo, more destructive. Someone is going to say, well, if they go pro and it doesn't work out, they should be able to come back. He says, and Izzo says right now, and he's correct, college basketball and college football both act like there aren't any rules right now.
Oh, he's right on about that. Yeah, he's 100% correct.
So Tom
completely.
Izzo, I apologize. Sorry about that.
You're right. He's 100% right on. You look at the stability right now that you're seeing out of both of them. There's no doubt it's being run like there's no rules.
So Tom Izzo said, quote, he says, well, about the freshman you recruited there, he says, that's somebody's son and he thinks he's got himself a good place. And all of a sudden, shazam, they pull out a rabbit out of the hat and bring a 21 or 22-year-old in from the G League. To me, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. And I love my job. I don't respect my profession, though. And I don't respect whoever is doing that. Whoever made those decisions because they're afraid that a lawyer is going to sue them sooner or later, you've got to fight the fight. He says, maybe I'm a dummy, but I'll never agree to that stuff. And again, okay, you're not going to get sued.
No, but there's the fear of it.
No,
He's right.
Yeah. My full point here. I'm coaching Penn State.
Yeah.
Right? And I elect not to go after the player. They're not going to sue me.
No.
Because I can give them a whole list of players in the country I didn't go after.
Right.
I'm not going to get sued.
Yeah. No.
Right?
No. No. No, he's spot on with that point, though. I think that's the world we're living in. That's not just college sports. There is so much fear in so many things right now, and that's the top one of all. That and you cave to things you don't need to cave to, and that's absolutely he's 1,000% right on with that point.
Now, Darlin's a little murkier. The NBA Academy Africa program. I'm sorry, that you should be able to recruit out of that if you want. I have no problem with that at all. Okay, you're not. Zero.
Yep.
Okay. But I don't know if Darlin then, is that considered the G League? I don't think so.
No, it shouldn't be. I don't think so.
Okay. But Johnson's a different player. Okay. The G League obviously creates another talent pipeline for collegiate talent, and Izzo called it a slippery slope. He's right. Izzo said the NCAA has got to regroup. They've got to regroup. That's my opinion, only my opinion. Don't be mad at anybody else. Be mad at us. But I'm not going to be mad at the players. I'm going to be mad at the adults in the room. So don't blame the players anymore. And we haven't blamed the players here at all.
Not one bit.
We're talking about the system.
Yeah.
It says blame the adults that make the decisions that allow some of these ridiculous things to happen. And it is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Look, we have gotten away from, I played junior high. What's my next step after junior high?
Should be varsity or JV.
High school.
Yeah.
Okay. One way or the other, varsity, JV, but high school.
Yeah.
Right? I can't play junior high anymore. I'm too old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I'm done with high school, what's my next step? My next step is, well, okay, I could go to the G League.
Mm-hmm.
I could go to Division III, Division II. If I'm fortunate, Division I, maybe it's a low major, maybe it's a mid major, maybe, wow, I can't believe it, I'm in a Power 5. The Big East makes it Power 5. Just it's a little different. I'm just saying, it's Power 4 in football, Power 5 in basketball.
Yeah, sure.
Right? And that's what I do. And by the way, at some point, if I want to make the decision to go pro and put my name into the draft, I can. I also have the ability to pull my name out of the draft by a certain date. Eh? But at some point, you've got to be able to, right, make a decision. Maybe it's a good decision. Maybe it's bad. I mean, we all make good decisions and bad decisions in our lives. We don't get do-overs.
Right.
Okay? And if I hear one more person saying, well, X entered the draft and didn't get drafted, they should be allowed to go back. No. Okay? In other words, if I'm sitting here and I leave this job, if I leave this job, right? And, well, it didn't work out. Should I be able to come back?
Yeah. Only if they'll take you back.
Only if they'll take me back.
No,
right?
and that's
life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's life.
Yeah.
Right? And they're doing everything they can to take real life out of college sports. Like, well, like they're doing it. No.
No.
That's not how things work. What are you learning from that?
No, not a thing. And
he did joke and said that he might call Magic Johnson, Jaren Jackson, and other former Michigan State stars who had success in the NBA, since their stance on former professionals being allowed to play college basketball appears to be changing, because Magic still has 2 years of eligibility remaining.
There you go.
Jackson has 3. All right?
Not sure Magic as quick as he used to be. He might still have that vision. That vision's as good as anybody I've ever seen passing a basketball.
He says, but also doesn't view the issue as a laughing matter. He says he's concerned about high school seniors who could lose their spots to G League players with professional experience, which could encourage even more young players in the future to enter the transfer portal. Okay? So what you're happening now is that these are only 2 players. Okay? 2.
Right.
But I realize that you've gone from 13 to 15 that you can carry on the roster.
You can carry, yeah.
Right? So there are more spots. But let's just go 5 years down the road, and everybody's at 15. Let's just say everybody's. Most teams are going to, almost every coach I know is going with 13. 13 scholarships and maybe a couple walk-ons.
Yeah.
Most everybody's doing that. It's not, very few people are going with 15 guys. So I've got 13 scholarship players, a couple walk-ons. Well, now Johnson comes over and it's like, hey, I'm really interested in you guys. Oh, we'd love to have you. Okay, which freshman aren't you recruiting to get him on there now?
Yeah.
Who now gets bumped down the line, which then in turn bumps somebody else down the line, which then in turn bumps somebody out of the line. There's a domino effect because there's only X amount of players that you can have on rosters. So suddenly you thought you were going to Louisville. They bring in Johnson. Suddenly I don't have a scholarship. That's why my issue always was with Buzz Williams was DJ Newbill. Always was. Always has been. Always will be with DJ Newbill. Because when Buzz was at Marquette, DJ was all set to go to Marquette, and Buzz pulled the offer because he thought he had a more talented player. And DJ had to scramble, and he went to Southern Mississippi and finally ended up here. He thought he was all set. Everything was set to go. He's going to Marquette. He's got his entire deal planned, and Buzz thought he had a better player. Okay.
Yep.
Right? And that always bothered me. Well, this is the same thing. Suddenly out of nowhere, somebody is a young player, freshman. Right? I'm all set. I'm going to go to Louisville. I know it. This is going to be great. Well, what do you mean you pulled my scholarship offer? Well, now what do I do? How do I scramble? Where do I go? How do I bounce back? Okay, I ended up at Middle Tennessee State. Well, who did you bump off the Middle Tennessee State roster for your spot? Right? Next, okay, now the guy that was bumped off the Middle Tennessee State roster, okay, now where does he go? Wofford. Well, who did you bump off the Wofford roster to make room for you?
Domino effect, absolutely.
Right? See, this keeps going down the line because I knew that there was going to be trouble when the Diego Pavia ruling was made on junior college. Because that made no sense to me, still makes no sense.
Doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Because, okay, it's just a different level of college. Okay? Who's the big forward that plays for the Miami? Duncan Robinson. Well, Duncan Robinson, okay, started his collegiate eligibility at Williams College in northwestern Massachusetts. And was one of the few guys ever to go from Division III to Division I. His time at Williams College counted.
Yep.
It counted. Now, it paid off for Duncan Robinson. Look, he goes from Division III Williams, ends up going to Michigan where he's terrific, and ends up in the NBA with the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good career.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
Okay? But if the University of New Mexico accepted credits, maybe not all of them, okay, but that'd be the credit. Did they accept your credits? Then your time playing counts.
Yeah.
And when they did that, I thought, oh, what are we doing now? Right? Like, that doesn't count now? Now you see this.
Yeah.
So what does Izzo also say? He's concerned about high school seniors who could lose spots to G League players and professional experience. Okay. He also said the lack of communication from decision makers was troubling, and he challenged the NCAA to consider, what do I always talk about? He used my exact words here. What are the unintended consequences? What is wrong with these people where they sit down and like, hey, let's talk about this for a second. Let's go through all the scenarios here. What are we missing here?
Mm-hmm.
And they act as if, I don't know, act. For all I know,
Well,
they sat in the room and they talked about it, and they're like, okay, we're going to do it anyway. Or they give one the impression that they don't.
Nobody.
They're so afraid of
there it is. Nobody wants to be the bad guy.
Okay.
Nobody wants to be that person that steps up and says, here's what's wrong.
Well,
here's what we got to do.
Who keeps losing? The NCAA keeps losing.
They keep losing in fear.
Now, when it comes to the JC thing, the NCAA should not have lost. Other things they should have lost.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay? Other things,
Agreed.
the Alston ruling, they should have lost.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. There are certain things that they should have lost. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. The O'Bannon thing, they should have lost. All right? They didn't present the case right in any way, shape, or form. I mean, when Mark Emmert got on the witness stand and started talking about the ivory tower and the value of education, and everybody's sitting there like going, what are you doing? Yeah. Just tell them where the money goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They lay it out. See, we try to lay out the money part of it. People may hate talking about the money part, but it doesn't. All this doesn't exist without the money part. Like, he would have lost the case anyway. Yeah. Okay?
Absolutely.
With O'Bannon being in the cover, name, image, and likeness. Okay? But just tell them, he said, we're taking this money in because guess what? How many of you love women's sports? Just a show of hands. Everybody in the courtroom would have put their hand up, right?
Sure.
Everybody would.
Absolutely.
Right? You would have been a little iffy. You're just kind of like, you're not a very progressive guy. Yeah. No, but everybody would have put their hand up, right?
Sure. I agree.
And my point would have been on the witness stand, we have to come up with various ways to pay for it because it's not self-sustaining. Hey, it's not. There isn't a single women's basketball program in the country that makes money. There isn't a single women's soccer program in the country that makes money. Okay? There's only one in women's volleyball that did last year, and that was Nebraska.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not putting down the sport of women's soccer, the sport of women's volleyball, or the sport of women's basketball. I'm not putting anybody down at all. I'm explaining the reality of it. Okay? There's too many people in our business that don't deal with the reality of things. Right? They deal with the fantasy of it. Look, it's more popular than ever. I agree it's more popular
That's fine.
than ever. But it's
still
not
making money.
Okay? It's not self-sustaining. So
Right.
Emmert needed to get up in the witness stand and say, hey, look, we need to bring in money like that left and right.
Right.
Because we need to fund things that are not self-sustaining. And the vast majority of sports outside of football and men's basketball are not self-sustaining. He didn't tell them that. Okay? So, look, they were going to lose the case anyway, but still at least explain it that way. So, but the JC case, they never should have lost. I think to me, that was a bad ruling. Right? On Diego, and I have nothing. Diego Pavia is fun to watch in the whole thing. I don't know, was he 32 now? I think he's petitioned for one more year, I believe, hasn't he?
I think he has. Yeah.
I think he petitioned for one more year. He wants to come back. And he's fun for college football. I mean, he's fun. But I completely disagree with the ruling about his time in junior college. Right? If they accepted your credits and you played, you're in college.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't care if they accepted all your credits, half your credits, a few classes. It counts. That now led to this. And what Tom Izzo said was, blame the adults that make the decisions that allow some of these ridiculous things to happen. And then the unintended consequences hurt kids that are trying to do it the right way with a process, not jumping around. He said, that's my two cents. So put that whatever you want. Well, guess what? I agree with everything word he said.
Every word.
I agree with every word he said.
Every word he said. I agree.
And I admire the fact that Tom Izzo goes out and you know what he does? He says what he thinks. And Tommy's always been like that. Tommy's always been like that.
Yeah, he's right on.
Right? I'll never forget when everything was going on when we were with Joe, Tommy spoke out. And when I saw Tom, when I was up at Michigan State, I said, you have no idea what it meant to me as somebody who was around him for 32 years. You saying that. And Tommy started to cry. Cry, but he welled up. He welled up. And he looked at me, oh, Steve, oh. You know, I have so much respect for Tom. So much respect. And he's not wrong about this. You can't turn college sports into a free-for-all now. There has to, again, we've got to now go back. There's got to be collective bargaining. There has to be. Here are the rules as agreed to by both sides, Jason.
Agreed.
Okay? Here is the number we're going to pay to athletes. This is what we think. What do you think? Boom. Both sides agree.
Sure.
How is the transfer portal laid out for your sport? This is what we think. This is what you think. We come to a compromise. This is what we do. Okay? The ability to get NIL. What are the rules surrounding NIL? Okay? Your ability to get some outside cash for your name, image, and likeness. We both agree that that's the right way to go. It can't be done from a booster or things like that where you're just getting money to do whatever because you're already getting money from the university. Okay. Are you eligible to be on the health insurance plan? Right? Are you eligible? Okay. We don't want you to be employees. Right? And maybe you do. So now we have to negotiate that part out. Okay. Then when it comes to this, all right, when it comes to this, we feel that junior college should not count towards your eligibility. Now, we'll grandfather everybody in now that's done it, because I'm not going to say junior college doesn't count and all of a sudden Diego Pavia is going to lose time. No, I don't want to do that. So you're grandfathered. But moving forward, junior college counts as eligibility. We've negotiated this out. That's what we've come up with. Okay? How many years do you get to play? Is it 4 years in a red shirt, or it's going to be a blanket 5 years? And how many games you play in 5 years, you play in 5 years, and that's it. No sixth year of eligibility being granted. You negotiate that out. See, these are all things you have to negotiate out. But you have to have this. Now we got the G League. If you've had any professional experience, right, in the United States,
Sure.
right, or whatever the FIBA rules are internationally. What are the FIBA rules internationally? Because it's being taken into account by guys that have played in professional leagues. Okay? What is that? Right? And here are the rules surrounding that. This doesn't come into play in college football.
No.
But it absolutely comes into play in almost every other sport. Almost every other sport. Now, there's no G League for women's basketball, as an example, but there are international competitors all over the place on this campus. Fencing, the women's golf team, the women's volleyball team, the women's basketball team, the men's basketball team. They all have foreign competitors. Okay? They do. right? The men's gymnastics team. I mean, they all do. And so you have to have rules surrounding that. But you have to collectively bargain all of this so both sides agree to it and get some structure in place.
That's the biggest thing.
In college sports, you need some structure.
Yeah.
You can't keep having the make it up as you go Wild West routine that the NCAA is in right now. What? Because you're being afraid of being sued? Okay, guess what? Guess how you're not going to be sued? By collectively bargaining it. Who sues the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, or Major League Baseball? Who sues? Because both sides have agreed to the rules.
Yeah, not a one. And that's the biggest thing with it is the stability part of it. Absolutely. That's the part where you're just looking for that. You're looking for a structure which wasn't in place, and that caused the problems to begin with. I think with all of this, not only NIL, but the portal as well. And you look at it, it has its good and it has its bad. You go back to the topic we just talked about, where these players at least have the ability. They should not, I agree. They don't get drafted. They want to go back to school. No, they should never have the chance to do that.
No,
but
they give you
basketball.
You now have a very late date.
Yeah, you have a late date, number one. Number two, you also have the ability to hire an agent now and still go back.
Yes.
That wasn't the case.
That's right.
10, 15 years ago.
Yep.
You hire an agent, you were done.
Yep.
So there's parts of it which have made it, obviously it's more difficult because of the lack of structure, but there's parts of it for the athlete that have made it easier for that reason. There's a lot of places now where you have great opportunity to take advantage of the situation, but the situation is what? That's my concern. That's been the concern from day one with this. Who's going to be the person to govern it and step up and say, okay, here's what has to be done. Here's what we got to pull. And when you do it, it's going to be too late to begin with.
That's right.
Better late. It's the old cliche, better late than never at this point. That's where what you're looking at with this structure when it comes to college sports.
If you read Dave Refson's book about the roots of college football, so Dave did all this research going back into the late 1800s when college football was really starting to get a foothold on campuses. Schools cheated back then.
Oh, there's no doubt. Absolutely.
Like some of the stuff that happened back then, like, that happens today. That's why I kidded Dave about it. I said, Dave, I'm looking at this going, isn't this happening today? He says that's exactly what the point of the book was. But that is, will you have people still always trying to bend the rules? Always.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think we're at the point now where you do have to collectively bargain, where both sides agree to something, because if you're going to have money involved with athletes getting money, you have to have a structure in place that both sides agree to. Because the number that's picked out by the universities, $20.5 million and a 4% escalator after the House settlement, okay, well, I don't know where the number how they came up with the number. Right? The athletes had nothing to do with it.
No, that's certainly nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but you have to, everything from the portal to external NIL to eligibility rules and so forth, all have to be collectively bargained. The health insurance part, employment part, things like that, they all have to be collectively bargained so that you have some structure around the sport. Fans need the structure.
Absolutely.
Fans need the structure. The schools need the structure. And believe it or not, the athletes need the structure. Everybody needs the structure. Athletes, coaches, administration, right? Universities, fans, all need the structure. You have pro sports in this country, NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. Okay? They may have different structures, but they all have structure. Kyle Schwarber's contract is now run out with the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, now Kyle Schwarber is a free agent. He can sign with anybody he wants, including re-signing with the Phillies.
Sure.
But that's part of the collectively bargain accepted by everybody. Accepted by the Phillies, accepted by Kyle Schwarber, accepted by the clubhouse, accepted by the organization, and accepted by the fans.
Absolutely.
The fans understand that. They may not be happy that they might lose Kyle Schwarber, but they also understand what the rules of the game. The fans understand the rules of the game because there's structure in the rules of the game.
Absolutely.
Okay? Right? There's structure in the NFL draft. My team had a lousy year. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. I get to pick first. I get to pick Cam Ward or anybody else on the board. I pick Cam Ward. Right? That's structure. Fans get that. It's been collectively bargained. Right? Now, is it technically correct that he should come? Maybe he should come out of college and pick any team he wants. Right? Let's sue over that. Well, no, not really, because while the NFL is the only major professional football league in the country, you and I can start our own professional league and have different rules.
Different rules, absolutely.
Right? It's, in other words, the National Football League is a business in the business of football. Okay? They aren't the business in football. They're a business in football. I can start another football league, so can you. They'd fail miserably because the NFL is such a behemoth, you have no shot. Okay, you have no shot at challenging them. But, for example, you're looking right now at 10 teams in the NFL, okay, that did not begin in the NFL. There are 10 teams in the NFL that did not start as National Football League franchises. The Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Raiders, the Oilers, the Titans, the Chiefs, who were the Texans, right? The Chargers, who were the LA Chargers, San Diego and LA. Okay, all 10 of those, the Cincinnati Bengals, okay, all 10 of those started as in a rival league. Okay, you have teams in the NHL, 4 of them, that did not begin as NHL teams. You have 4 of them in the NBA that did not begin as NBA teams. These are all because of mergers. Okay? So it's not as if you can't start a rival league and then after how many years? The AFL went 10 years. The WHA went, 8, 9 years. The ABA went 9 years, right? And it just finally got to the point like it was just best for everybody to merge, right? Okay, well, they did. Right? But somebody else started a rival league, and some people survived going to the Behemoth League. So that's why they can put their own. You can't sue the NFL over their rules because I can start my own league. Everybody's agreed to these rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they barely agreed to it in the last collective bargaining agreement by an average of 32-30 saying yes. It was that close. I think it was only like a 50-vote difference. But that is something that when I look at this G League thing, as soon as I saw that, I went, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You made the decision to go pro.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, should not have the ability to. Yeah, it's not as if it's a part where that is a development league, yes, but it's not.
Yeah, but Yannick,
it's exactly.
Okay, could end up playing some
games.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. There are guys in the NBA.
Jalen Pickett went back. Now Jalen was out of eligibility. Okay.
Right.
Okay. But Jalen went back and forth from Grand Rapids to Denver his first year.
Yes. Yeah, and it's literally as you look at say a Major League Baseball, guy plays minor league baseball, you're not going to be able to I'm going to minor league baseball in the Pirate system. I don't want to go. It's not working out. I'm going to re-enter the draft. Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yeah, that's why. That's absolutely. It's where they're screwing up in a big way.
Once you make the commitment to go to the next level,
you're there. You're going.
You're going.
Yeah.
Okay. That part's over with.
Absolutely.
You made the choice.
Yeah.
Like LaMelo Ball made the choice not to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
He played in Europe for a year, and then the Charlotte Hornets drafted him. And he's had a terrific career with the Hornets.
Absolutely.
And LaMelo Ball is a really good player.
Yeah.
Right? Hampton. Remember, he was going to go to SMU, then he decided to play down in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He ended up getting drafted in the NBA after playing a year in New Zealand.
Yeah.
He never went to college.
No.
Like, okay. That's...
To a lesser extent, Mike Williams at USC left college, couldn't go back.
Right.
Ended up having to wait it out and get drafted.
That's... You can't just sit there and pick and choose what you're doing in life. Right?
No.
What are you going to do now? Sit there and like, I played 5 years in the G League. Now I'm 24 years old. I think I'll go back to college. What? No.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And again, this in some ways did start with the Diego Pavia decision about junior college. Right. I mean,
Part of it.
In other words, they just like, in other words, you're talking about a group in the NCAA that is so afraid of being sued, they'll bend the rules left and right.
Sure.
Right? It makes no sense what they're doing.
Absolutely not. And it has consequences for people that it shouldn't have consequences for. That's the unfortunate part of it. Yeah, the part where I think the unfortunate thing, we've seen scholarships pulled so many times, and teams have had so much success while doing it, it's never noticed. Now you're reaching the point where more scholarships are being pulled, and it's being clearly noticeable because because of incidents like this.
No question.
And that's I think the major issue that you are now starting to have in college sports. I'd say been having the last 2 seasons, but now, especially now, with this going into effect.
In college football, you don't have this issue. There really is not a minor league.
Right.
Okay. And the G League is the equivalent to me of playing minor league baseball.
Yeah,
and
same.
I don't mean the draft league. Like the draft league, for example.
No, that's
okay.
no.
They have specific rules. Once you get to the second half of the season, you are getting paid.
Yeah.
Right. They can't go back to college. The other ones that are sitting there still have options when they're sitting there. But once you make the commitment, I've decided to go and play minor league baseball. Well, guess what? You're in their system. You're getting paid. The whole thing. Okay. If it's not working out,
absolutely.
What are you going to do? Now I'm going to go play at the University of Florida? No, you already made your choice. You already made your choice. It didn't work out. I feel badly, but
yeah.
You want to know how many people have made choices in their life it didn't work out?
Quite a few Americans that have taken a job that didn't work out.
Right.
Or quite a few people worldwide. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, one quick note on the football coaching front, and it's very simple. Whomever is hired, and I don't know what job they had before, they were an assistant or a head coach or whatever, something that should not be forgotten by whomever is hired. There's an excellent chance, not just a good chance, an excellent chance, they're now going to be coaching with more resources than they've ever had in their life.
Absolutely.
As a coach.
Yeah.
It is one thing to sit there and judge like, their record. They never have coached with the resources that they're going to have here. They have put together a strong structure here between the new weight room, Lash building, what they're doing with the stadium, what they've done with the construction of funds and NIL. Right? They're going to have all that at their disposal that in all likelihood, whomever it is, probably never had to operate with that many resources before. And they're also going to operate with a general manager, which is also new to college sports, right, in terms of talent acquisition. And that is something that whomever is selected is going to have those advantages that in all likelihood, whatever job they've had, and I'm not talking about the Nick Sabans and the Urban Meyers. I mean, they had all the resources. They wanted, but, let's be realistic here. There's reasons why they're not coaching anymore.
Right.
Okay, in this current environment, which is very difficult. Right? I don't blame them. They just have to make the choice that they need to make.
Yeah, either adapt or you get out. And that's not a bad thing when you get out. It's not showing you're a terrible coach. Mike Krzyzewski and Nick Saban, Jay Wright all got out.
Right, exactly. Right. But I'm just saying, whomever it happens to be, whether it's a head coach, an assistant, a coordinator, whatever, okay? they're going to have more to work with here
Right.
that in all likelihood, they never had to work with before. And that's something that should not be forgotten about the infrastructure that has been put in place here that I think gives a great chance of success to the next person, whomever gets the job. It just is something that should not be forgotten. And after that, everybody can dissect everybody's resumes and so forth, and then go from there. But just remember, too, as you dissect the resumes, ask yourself, I wonder what they could do with the resources they have here. Just something to think about. So, yeah. God, that's an ugly jacket.
Yeah.
But I got to give you credit.
5-2.
I got to give you credit. It looks good.
How on earth that team is 5-2? I have no idea.
So what's the color of the next team Penn State's playing?
That's week bye week. So they don't have no color this week. Next week is when it's red.
Unbelievable. Who's your quarterback?
It's Mac Jones at the moment.
Just checking.
Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy's toe heals, it'll be Brock again.
So he's out for the year? No, just kidding.
Turf toe is one of those injuries you just never know. Yeah, you have no idea. It's one of those.
Yep.
It's one of those that lingers. It's almost like the plantar fasciitis of basketball.
Yeah.
Different body part, I agree, but it's.
I mean, anybody who's ever tried to push off?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep.
Man. Yeah, that's all. Turf toe is like it sounds like one of those. Like,
you stub your toe in the ground.
You'll get over that in a day or two.
Yeah.
Oh, contraire, mon
Yeah.
frere.
No, it's.
No.
Yep.
So, well, it was a lot of fun today. I always kind of felt that you had a lot of G League talent.
I tried, but I could have just done the LaMelo, go to the Lithuanian League. Then when he went to Australia, right? China, maybe too. Did he play in China? Can't even remember.
No, he didn't.
He just played. Yeah, Australian League was the last one he played in.
Yeah.
Lithuania was the first one. Yep.
Yeah.
He got drafted. Drafted high, top 5.
He's played like a top 5 pick. He's a heck of a player.
He's a heck of a player. Yeah, he's better than better than the guy drafted second overall that year. No question.
Yeah.
Not even sure James Wiseman's still in the league.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Edwards obviously was an unbelievable pick at number 1, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, LaMelo's a great player. Lonzo wasn't a bad player, he just couldn't stay on the floor. The injuries just took a major toll on him.
Again, show of hands, how many watched the NBA last night?
I have 25 solid minutes of it, and I watched the end of the Rockets game.
I'm not even sure the Tirico family watched last night.
Does that include Mike, who was calling the game?
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't watch a lot in the regular season. I never have.
The Athletic ranked top 10 college football stadiums in the country. Autzen Stadium 10, Rose Bowl 9, Kyle Field 8, Husky Stadium 7, Neyland Stadium 6, Michigan Stadium 5, Ohio Stadium 5, Notre Dame Stadium 3, Beaver Stadium number 2, Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge.
LSU probably, yeah. Nice.
Again, what did I just say about what you have to work with?
Resources, absolutely.
And part of the resources is this fan base. That's
passionate and incredible for good reason.
Resources you have is this fan base.
Agreed.
All right.